Trump-hating ex-CIA chief John Brennan goes full tinfoil hat with new accusations. By Dan Lindsay, Politics U.S. News for MadWorldNews.com. Former CIA Director John Brennan has gone full tinfoil hat with his latest conspiracy theory about President Donald Trump. This guy really needs to get a padded room. According to the Daily Caller, former CIA Director John Brennan is ramping up his anti-Trump rhetoric with claims that Russia likely has some dirt on Trump that they are using as blackmail. During a recent interview on MSNBC's Morning Joe, Brennan made the outlandish claims which really just make him look more like an idiot than a credible former intelligence professional. Listen, they're scraping for any kind of thing to get, to credit themselves as they were right and Trump is working for the Russians. I mean, sorry about that. When asked by Micah Brzezinski if our president is letting America down, oh, what a question, Brennan replied, well, I think the president has shown a lack of understanding of international affairs as well as a real ignorance of what it takes to be the president of the United States. Where's the video? Let's just see what he says here. I mean, the attacks on this president are, no other president in the history of the United States has been under such attacks, constant attacks. In other words, what are they saying? That Russia had anything to do with Trump? That's why Hillary lost? Hillary is a total mess. You can't even compare the two.
We are happy to have with us former CIA Director John Brennan, who is now an NBC News Senior National Security and Intelligence Analyst. Director Brennan, it's really good to have you on this morning. You have been increasingly vocal against President Trump.
And so have you.
On February 20th, the president tweeted, I have been much tougher on Russia than Obama. Just look at the facts. Total fake news. And you replied, it never ceases to amaze me how successful you have been, making yourself so small, petty, and banal with your tweets. Your insecurity is well deserved, as is your concern over Russia investigation. Thomas Paine was right when he said these are the times that try men's souls. Earlier this month, Trump tweeted about the loss of American jobs from President H.W. Bush, till now stating it was a bad result. It was a result of bad policies and leadership. You countered with, you show an amazing, albeit unsurprising, ignorance of how technology, automation, and the attendant evolution of economics and societies have transformed the world. Your simple-minded policies, imposition of tariffs, have the potential to seriously damage our future prosperity. And just last Saturday, Trump tweeted about the firing of Andrew McCabe, writing in part, sanctimonious James Comey was his boss and made McCabe look like a choir boy. He knew all about the lies and corruption.
Notice she didn't read the beginning of the statement. A great day for the hardworking men and women of the FBI. A great day for democracy. She just went to sanctimonious, but Brennan's tweets she read in full. What a crock. Like you have to have a stomach to listen to mainstream media.
On at the highest levels of the FBI, and you replied, when the full extent of your venality, moral turpitude, and political corruption becomes known, you will take your rightful place as a disgraced demagogue in the dustbin of history. You may scapegoat Andy McCabe, but you will not destroy America. America will triumph over you. Is America being tried at this point, especially in terms of its place in the world? Is this president letting our country down?
Well, I think the president has shown a lack of understanding of international affairs as well as...
Notice how his tone, did you notice how his tone, like they keep like a real mild tone? as if they have control over the situation. Do you see what I'm saying? This is all so disturbing to watch, you know, because you know that the guy hates Trump and he doesn't want to be investigated. And yet he has this tone like as if like they have total control and they are so right and we're the nut jobs.
Real ignorance of what it takes to be president of the United States, and that's what prompted my tweets. He is mean-spirited. He is dishonest.
He is mean-spirited? Trump is mean-spirited? In comparison to Brennan's tweet? Unbelievable.
Shown a lack of integrity, and he has...
Let's do it.
History. You may scapegoat Andy McCabe, but you will not destroy America. America will triumph over you. Is America being tried at this point, especially in terms of its place in the world? Is this president letting our country down?
Well, I think the president has shown a lack of understanding of international affairs, as well as a real ignorance of what it takes to be president of the United States, and that's what prompted my tweets. He is mean-spirited. He is dishonest. He has shown a lack of integrity, and he has continued to, I think, demean the office of the presidency. And so I've decided to put my silence aside and to speak up and speak out because I do think our future is in jeopardy while Mr. Trump continues his antics.
Let me follow up on that. Are we on the verge of a constitutional crisis?
Well, I think many of the senators and members of Congress have said that if Trump decides to sack Mueller, that we are going to be in a constitutional crisis. And I have great confidence in Bob Mueller. He is a tremendous American, and he is going to get to the bottom of this investigation. But if Mr. Trump, who I think is increasingly feeling the pressure and feeling very anxious and nervous about what's going on, if he decides to remove Bob Mueller, I do think then we're going to be at that crisis point.
Mr. Director, you just said our future is in jeopardy. That's a chilling statement from someone who knows the things you know about the way our government works and what's happening around the world. What do you mean specifically by that?
Well, I think he's mishandled so many matters. Just look at what happened yesterday with his call to Vladimir Putin. Vladimir Putin was the person who authorized the interference in our election. Vladimir Putin almost certainly was involved in directing the poisoning of an individual on British soil. And to congratulate him and to treat him so nicely while he treats Americans with such disdain, I think it just demonstrates that he looks at the world through a prism of what is going on.
In other words, Vladimir Putin looks at Americans with great disdain? From what are your facts? Do you know that I cannot tolerate listening to this? I mean, I really, the lies, one right after the other.
To help and protect Donald Trump. That is not what presidents are supposed to do. I worked for 6 presidents. I didn't agree with some of their policies, but all of them were trying to do what they thought was best for the United States. That's not Mr. Trump. He is self-absorbed, and he is trying to just promote his own interests and protect his flanks.
Is it a war with North Korea that concerns you? In other words, when you say our future is in jeopardy, what long-term damage can happen to the country because of one man?
Well, I don't know what he's going to do with North Korea. I mean, the fact that he opted to have a summit meeting with Kim Jong-un before really any preparation is being done, it shows his impetuousness, the fact that he is not looking at issues with the type of depth and sophistication that is needed. He totally ignored the briefing cards that were given to him for his call with Putin, when in caps it said, "Do not congratulate." So I think he's mishandling these things, and the United States plays a very...
Do not congratulate? When Obama congratulated, I can't take this man. Anything that's coming out of his mouth is a total lie. I wish people would just turn off MSNBC. I keep telling my older family members that listen to this garbage, they get upset, and I told them, don't listen, they're all lies. This is all propaganda that they're spewing. Well, moving on, the pompous former CIA director went on to say, I think he's afraid of the Russian president. What? they may have something on him personally that they could always roll out, and it makes his life more difficult. I wonder if it occurs to Brennan that the Russians have a mountain of damning evidence on Hillary Clinton with which she could have been easily manipulated. I doubt it. He's too full of himself to think that far into it. Brennan also said clearly, I think it's important for us to be able to improve relations with Russia, but the fact that he has had this fawning attitude towards Mr. Putin has not said anything negative about him. I think it continues to say to me that he does have something to fear, and something very serious to fear. He continued. You see how they're spinning it? No, Trump doesn't want us to get into World War III, because I'll tell you one thing. You know, Russia is not a force. It's a force to be reckoned with. Do you see what I'm saying? And why have that? It makes no sense. The Russians would not. They would opt for things to do if they believe that it was in their interest. And the Russians, I think, have had long experience with Mr. Trump and may have things that they could expose and reveal, Brennan added. I got news for you, Brennan. Russia probably has a lot of dirt on you, so I think you should keep your mouth shut if you think that they don't know who this guy is. In my opinion, John Brennan suffers from an everlasting hang-up over Hillary Clinton losing the presidential election. It probably kills him not to have the power that he once did, and that's the problem with liberals. It goes deeper than that. It's quite scary to see how devious and sinister the left have become when they lose an election. Douchebag liberals like Brennan sure do make me thankful that we have the right to bear arms. Absolutely. You see how they're trying to spin what Trump is doing? First of all, Trump is doing a great job. Absolutely great job. Phenomenal. Even and he's dissing like Trump going and speaking with Kim Jong-un. Yeah, he wants to stop this nuclear arms thing. So come on. And nobody has done what President Donald Trump, with all the backlash that Donald Trump has to face on a constant basis. And he's not for America? You mean to tell me, Brennan, you're for America and Hillary, where Hillary sold the uranium to the Russians? But no, we won't mention that, will we, John Brennan? And I'm sure you had a hand in all of that too, along with your friend Robert Mueller and Clapper keeping everything under wraps. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.